Good morning and thank you very much for joining us. And I am Yori Folarin, reaching you from Lagos, southwest of the country, where we're broadcasting from. And my guest this morning, we've got Dr. Deji Awobotu. He's a chartered accountant and financial analyst. Thank you very much for coming on.
Good morning.
Indeed. And Hassan Abdul Aziz Sani is our other guest, Alhaji Hassan. Well, he's a commentator on public affairs. He's a man who wears quite a number of caps, so we'll see which one comes out this morning. Very nice of you to come on, Hassan.
Thank you very much, Mr. Yori.
Now, the dollar, is what has caught our attention. The Naira-dollar exchange rate in particular. And also some sort of a local thing that happened last week. We all know how the security services got involved. The DSS actually raided a number of bureau de change operations, and it said that since then things there was trading, full trading. It improved marginally, but the figures that we're now seeing are pretty confusing. It depends on where you have to. These things go on per second, right? But as of this morning, with bureau de change, we're looking at 445 naira to the dollar. That's if you're buying, and if you're selling, if they're selling, 450 naira to the dollar. When you compare that with 315 naira for the official, shall we say, CBN rate, maybe the first question to ask, since this will be 101, not for people who are savvy in these matters, maybe Dr. Awobotu, could you start us off by explaining why there is such a wide margin? Why is the CBN official rate 315, for example, and as we checked this morning, it's 445 445 naira if you wanted to buy it off the bureau de change?
All right. I'm going to start with the structures that we have on ground.
Sure.
It's unfortunate that the CBN still has a whole lot to do. Now, when I comment on issues like this of national interest, I always try to benchmark it with best practice with other jurisdictions. Can I travel to the United States and see forex traders on the street? If the answer is no, then something is wrong with our system. Can I travel to London and see forex traders on the streets? If the answer is no, then something is wrong with our system. Now, if we try to build structures in place and we fail to deal with the street traders, then I can bet you that irrespective of the structure you try to put in place, there will certainly be saboteurs, people that will not make those policies to try. Because if you try to manage the forex that we have in the system by pegging a rate, certainly there will be individuals on the streets that, don't forget that the prices are being influenced by the forces of demand and supply. So long as that still remains in the system, then the CBN's efforts will not be seen by the Nigerians at the end of the day. So technically now, I'm going to take this back to the CBN. They have a whole lot to do. If they are ready bureau de change, what happens to those on the streets?
Okay, you know what, Doctor? Thank you very much. And let me just hear from Hassan on that particular aspect. He looked at the whole structure. How would you respond or react to his opening comments?
Mr. Awobotu made
Dr.
Awobotu made a very serious opinion and highly nationalistic. But let us look at the history and what happens. There was a time in the fora, somebody was hosted on this very particular program. And we need to look at the history of it. In my own contribution in that fora, I made it known to people that, look, the forest we have is more than enough to go around. What we are seeing in Nigeria today is not the issue of some people being on the street. It's not the issue of some people manipulating somewhere. The whole thing rests with the Central Bank of Nigeria and our banks.
But wait a minute, just so that I can still be following you. It's 315 CBN rate, the official rate.
That is interbank.
And 445.
Yes. What they
for
give
the parallel market rate.
No, let us be fair to bureau de change in this particular statement. Interbanks is different from the rate they give to BDCs. They gave to BDCs at 375 to 380 by Travelex. The banks were given dollars by CBN, and banks refused to give dollars to Bureau de Change. And in some instances, even few banks that decided to give the Bureau de Change money, you understand? They look down on some operators of Bureau de Change, they give them money, and they return the dollars.
Okay, how about that whole point, that little point about you, on every street, go to Surulere, Randall, you'll find them. Go to just about every street.
Yeah.
And compare this with other climes.
Yeah, you see, let me tell you, whatsoever we are going to do, we can look globally, but there's a need for us to look at our environment, what obtains in our environment. Before, it wasn't like this. The whole system is a systemic failure. Systemic failure, underline it very well. Let me tell you one thing. There was a day I went to a bank to transact business. A Bureau de Change operator followed me to the bank. I withdrew my Naira and gave it to Bureau de Change. The manager of the bank, I told her, I said, Madam, she was just standing before me. I said, Madam, I was not able to, I'm not supposed to withdraw money here and give the Bureau de Change. You are my bank, you are my banker. You are supposed to give me the dollar. She said, yes, in confidence. She said, yes, we are supposed to give you. But we fail in our responsibilities to you. CBN gives us dollars, you understand? But we take the dollars to Bureau de Change. And in the evening, we cook up our books that we dispense the dollars according to the specification of CBN.
Okay, now, Doctor, this is where perhaps the wrongdoings that occasioned the raid by the DSS, began to manifest, right? Or is it different?
Yeah. Now, I really want to corroborate what Elijah has actually said, because as of 2-3 weeks ago, I had a discussion with someone at the top level in CBN, and he explained to me in real confidence that there are some financial institutions in this country that will obtain those foreign exchange, those dollars from the CBN at the normal rate, as in this case now, say 315, and it will go to this black market and trade. And we're talking about financial institutions, not individuals, financial institutions. All right. So the next thing I ask is, did you sanction that bank? And the next thing I go, yeah, we sanctioned them about $1 billion or thereabout. For me, that is not enough. Some individuals should take the hit, because if you are saying financial institutions should be fined, they're going to pay the money, and the next transaction will give them $5 billion, and that will still continue. So you have to do something very drastic if you're going to dissolve their, unhealthy practices will kill the system.
So there seems to be a breakdown of the structure, because from what you just said, that look, there is a penalty, but you see, people will continue to do the wrong thing because we can take the penalty and still be ahead.
It's not punitive enough.
I'll pay the fine. I'm still way ahead. Now, but does that explain, because a lot of people howled in protest that, look, what's going on? DSS is being involved in everything now. Suddenly, I mean, there was the judges, DSS was involved. Now there comes to this, the DSS is also involved. Was there, could you sort of see the justification in that it was a desperate measure for a desperate situation?
Mr. Yori, there will never be a liberty without order. There will never be a liberty without order.
Who is breaking the order?
The order are the Bureau de Change operators.
That's the order.
The order, who is breaking the order are the Bureau de Change.
I see.
Do you know why I say this?
How?
Thank you. CBN gave out dollar at 375, 380 to Bureau de Change.
Is that different from the normal rate of 3,115 that we're using this morning, for example?
No, 3,115, look, try to get the discrepancies.
Yes.
The Bureau de Change don't get it at 315. People that get dollar at 315 in the banks are the manufacturers, are the people that are within the speculated list, approved list,
the specified
of CBN.
List.
You understand?
You said speculated. Did you mean specified?
No, specified.
Okay.
And what is very clear, let me tell you one thing. Banks use their discretion to disqualify some. You understand? And to round trip the money.
Which is...
it is high time now. Mr. Yori, it is high time we begin to look at banks as our problem.
The Emir of Kano actually made this point once, SLS, that, look, who's fooling who? The round tripping is just begging to be done. with the current disparity between the official rate and the parallel market rate. In fairness, what is to stop that, and how do we get out of that quagmire?
We need to make trading of forex criminal on the streets. Now, I'll give you a simple analysis. If I travel to London and I come back to this country with £3,000, I can't spend pounds in Nigeria. So ordinarily, for safekeeping, I should take that money to the financial institution for safekeeping.
Yes, you got a domiciliary account.
Fine. So once I pay that money into the account, people are scared that once their money is deposited into the financial institution, it may not be available when they need it. Now, that's also similar to me having Naira in my current account. If I have Naira in my current account, whenever I go to the bank should make it available. So at every point in time, the financial institutions should look at the balances they have in their respective domiciliary accounts and ensure that those monies are available should the depositors decide to get all their money the same day.
Yes.
Which most times is almost impossible. We can't all go to the bank and say we want our balances, we want our money. It's not possible. So if I do transactions in dollars, then that money should be paid into my domiciliary account here in Nigeria. Whenever I need it, I should feel free to walk into the bank and get it.
But you're not guaranteed that.
But I'm not guaranteed
Okay, I'm going to
until that structure is dealt with.
Okay, I've got to go on a quick break now. So don't go anywhere, please. We'll be right back and we'll take your calls as well. Okay, welcome back. We're looking at the troubles of the Naira-dollar exchange rate. We have two figures. It depends on whether you're looking at the official rate, CBN. In this case, the Naira-dollar thing is 315. But if you were to go to the parallel market, when we checked this morning, well, thank you very much for giving us 450 Naira. So we're explaining that, and you said one of the aspects is that confidence in the financial institutions is lacking. And okay, please just round off on that idea. Okay.
Now, if I have foreign currencies, ordinarily I should pay that money into the financial institution that is regulated by the central bank, be it the BDCs, be it the commercial banks. Now, but because there is an alternative market, I would rather hold on to it, and that is distorting the financial structure in Nigeria. If I have $10,000, because there is a parallel market, I'll be thinking, what is the parallel market rate? It will pay me to go to the parallel market to exchange that. That is not too good for the nation. So to that extent, the parallel market in terms of the black market should be scrapped. If you want to do any transaction in foreign currency, you should go to the registered institutions. Go to the commercial banks, go to the BDCs. Why? Because these entities are regulated by central bank. If anything goes wrong, their promoters will be held responsible. If I go to a Malam by the streets, or in Shita and Surulere, for instance, and anything goes wrong, who are they going to hold responsible?
You can't hold.
You can't hold nobody.
You can't hold anybody. But the BDC Operators Association, Central Bank, and the security agencies reportedly had this meeting last week, after which this raid. So all of those people were in agreement. This raid was made. Do you disagree with anything that the DG has said?
Yeah. You see, there is what we call market disorganization.
Oh, I thought you were going to say market forces.
No.
Market disorganization.
Disorganization. You see, the issue is this.
Yes.
When we look at it very well, drastically, look at what CBN did. I'm not justifying BDCs. I'm here to castigate BDCs. And I'm here to justify the raid of BDCs by DSS. Federal government gave them money. Do you know one thing? That all these BDCs, their licenses money were paid back to them by Central Bank of Nigeria.
You know that for a fact?
Yes.
That's correct.
Their money were returned to them. So they have no justification to skyrocket any money and what have you. And the BDCs are the controllers of those street traders we are seeing. Those hawkers we are seeing on the road. The licensed BDCs,
they're like
they're boys.
Okay, so the guys on the street in Shita are like annexes.
Thank you.
Of the BDCs.
You understand? The BDCs are inside Those are the people that will take the market to them inside. You understand? But where I disagree with the BDCs is this. Why should federal government give you money at 370, 375, 380? Then you now come and sell it at 450, 470, 480, and you go back home and sleep.
Now, when you're using that figure, I'm just curious. We are saying it's 315, but you say there are some other aspects. That 315, it's not what happens between CBN.
315 is interbank rate.
Okay. Okay, so they have
Travelers,
a different rate.
Do you know what? The central bank government, you understand, governor, gave an instruction to the banks that all the remittance, all the diaspora fund and what have you, or all these inflows should be given to BDCs. They refused. Only one bank complied. That was First Bank of Nigeria. The remaining banks took the money, and those monies were taken to black markets against the common interest of Nigeria. That is why we are having inflation all over, because our economy is a dependent economy. You understand? We're dependent on everything. We even import toothpick in Nigeria.
Where is the place of patriotism or nationalism in the behavior of these operators?
They are unpatriotic. The banks and the BDCs are unpatriotic. First, central government cannot give you money. Then you punish us, we common men of Nigeria, with the money. CBN gave out the money so that there will be economic stability. It's a very simple for you to analyze economy.
So should they be scrapped then as
no, the issue is that
so that we can all face one exchange rate?
You know what? Something started somewhere before we got to this stage today. We get here today because something started somewhere. First of all, the banks refused to give BDCs. The president of BDCs came out and said that if they give them money, they will make sure they stabilize the naira against the dollar. Now, here we are. They gave them the money. You understand? They gave them the money, and we are still. The first positive signal we got was that it came down from 500 to 450.
After the raid?
After the disbursement to them.
Okay.
Before, they were not getting the disbursement. But after the first disbursement, they got it. But the issue is this. You see, we in Nigeria, we are lawless. Lawless in the sense that federal government will give us something.
That's a painful comment.
No. We are lawless.
I'm not sure I will understand in a manner of speaking.
Look,
but
you know what, Mr. Yori? It is high time we look ourselves straight in the eyes and say the home truth to ourselves. We are lawless.
So this is happening in the foreign exchange circle.
And let me tell you one thing. This can pull down any responsible government in the world.
I see that Deji is itching to get in.
Seriously.
Okay.
Seriously. Now, let's look at the owners of these BDCs.
Sure.
It's so easy for me to set up wake up one day, set up a BDC. How much do I need? Maybe 10 million or 20 million.
BDC, by the way, is Bureau de Change.
Set it up with just a 10 million, 20 million. How are we sure that the staff members of financial institutions are not behind some of those BDCs? Considering the fact that they're going to have privileged information to those forexes that they have within their institution. That's one. If the staff members of financial institutions are not behind the ownership of some of the BDCs, are we sure it's not some government officials that are behind them? That trying to scrape these guys from the street becomes so difficult. The point is, if the present government fails to do that, a government will come into power that will do the right thing, that will have the interest of Nigerians at heart. Right now,
do you think it is government being reluctant
government needs to be
to
forceful?
wield the big stick? Okay.
They need to be forceful, because if the powers of force is not attached to this, the same thing will continue over and over again. We know that the guys on the streets selling our currencies are not doing the right thing. What are we waiting for? The soldiers have a national first they put before themselves is national interest. The policeman should think of the national interest beyond their own personal interest.
So
the same thing in the financial sector, those behind those financial institutions and financial structure certainly should put the national interest. If I do this, will Nigeria be better off for it or not? If the answer is no, then they should scrap it.
Okay, we'll take a break now. Don't go anywhere, please. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We still have Dr. Deji Awubotu and Alhaji Hassan Abdul Aziz Sani, and we're looking at why the Naira-dollar exchange rate is so problematic. Deji has explained that, quite frankly, government is not doing all that it can do. So I'm going to ask Alhaji Hassan, why, therefore, is government pussyfooting on this matter, if indeed you agree that government is pussyfooting?
I don't think so. And that will not prevent me or stop me from concurring with Awubotu's opinion. What is very clear, before you go for anything, you need to know what is inside it. Bureau de change, this dollar issue, is an industry. You understand? It's an avenue for laundering. And you have to be highly sophisticated to get to know who gets what. What we are seeing now about this dollar is that government, central bank are churning out huge amount of dollars. But people outside they have so much intimidating amount of money to mop any amount of money churned out by Central Bank of Nigeria. And this is systemic. In connivance with the banks, no any crime can go, no laundry can go in this country without the connivance of the banks, without the connivance of BDCs. You understand? So
and all of this is working against the national interest.
It's working against national interest.
But people are saying that still.
You know.
The forces. It's what DJ explained, that look, because there are because there is a parallel market.
You know what?
I'm going to look for more naira. I can't spend my $3,000.
This is the first time when federal government are getting involved in arresting them directly.
Yes. Okay. Sam Adjose calling in from Ikeja. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Oga Yori. I greet you.
Thank you for calling in.
My good Oga, Dr. Deji Awubotu, I salute you.
Thanks, sir.
Alhaji Abdul Aziz Hassan Sani,
Thank you, sir.
blessed.
Thank you, sir.
Oga Yori, look, they've said so much, okay? And the fact remains, yes. Alhaji is right saying it's a systemic failure. I agree to a large extent. My doctor had touched on fundamental issues. I will just quickly recap and then let's equally look for the way forward. First and foremost, there are lapses in the CBN banking supervision, no doubt about it. Because if you look at the flow from CBN to banks, then to the BDC, I tell you, if CBN is doing the right thing, they will have closed the gaps. Now, there's so much of unpatriotism and insincerity on the part of the bankers. That's the truth. If you're getting a 3 whatever official rate from CBN, okay, if it's getting to these guys in the BDC at perhaps 1 or 2, naira margin, we won't be experiencing what we are experiencing today. By now, I would have expected CBN to have arrested the round-tripping phenomenon. It's sad, it's very, very unfortunate. However, let me mention this quickly. What we do, rather, how do we generate forests in Nigeria? Okay? In other words, what do you export in generating forests? Oil, isn't it? We all know what's going on as far as that sector is concerned. So certainly you're going to be generating less. Then it takes you to the next level. What do you do with the forest you generate? In other words, how do you spend your forest? If you're busy spending forest on consumables, I'm sorry, we're not going to get out of this mess. We need to come back home, whatever, let's say 80% of the forest you spend, not on educational tourism, not on leisure tourism, you spend it on real as in capital importation, and then boost your production sector here, and you're able to export finished goods. I'm afraid you're not going to generate enough adequate forest to power your economy.
So how do we come out of it, Sam?
Stop being lazy. It's high time we need to get it right God bless you guys.
Thank you very much, Sam. Appreciate your call. Okay, let me come to clearly that's someone who's known to you.
Yeah.
What do you think of his analysis?
Well,
because
the
at the end of the day, we want to know how to come out of this
the analysis
quagmire.
is perfect.
It's round tripping.
Nice. Yeah, but the point is, we have an individual in all financial institutions that has a mandate to protect the interest of 1, the bank that employed him, 2, the customers, 3, the regulators. And who is this individual we're talking about? The chief compliance officer. In every financial institution, there is a chief compliance officer who is expected to be ethical, who is expected to have a high moral standard, who is expected to have a high level of integrity. So, if that individual has a mandate to ensure these issues are curbed, then we should try as much as possible to empower him. If the CBN needs to know whatever is going on in the financial institution, they talk to this guy. He knows everything. Nobody goes out of the financial institution without the chief compliance officers knowing. So if the issue of round tripping is there, if they've not gotten his buy-in, certainly the money will not fly. So certainly the chief compliance officer is aware of some of these things that is happening. So if a bank is round tripping some of these funds, then the chief compliance officer should be sanctioned.
So it's a matter of sincerity or otherwise, when you look at it. Mr. George from Ikeja, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Thank you for calling in.
The doctor has said some of the things I wanted to say. I do not know why the president is still keeping the governor of Central Bank there. You cannot be the cause of a rot and the one to solve the problem. It's not possible. I have been in the system before, Uncle Yori, just for your information.
Okay.
If the central bank says that the financial system will work, it will work. The only time we had a semblance of sanity in CBN was when Chukwuma Soludo was there, who came from outside. That was when he did the consolidation we are now enjoying. If I have my way, I will ask the president not to appoint a governor of central bank from the cartel of bankers. They are all the same. Any MD of any bank you bring there, we play the game they are used to. And that is why you see that this round tripping, Elijah has mentioned something that you need to take notice of. Those BDCs you are seeing, let the government investigate the owners. You will discover that they are bankers. I can tell you this authoritatively. That is why you see what is going on is, the money is going within the same circle. It's not getting to where it should get to. Until the right person is at the CBN, we will not get anywhere. So I'm appealing to the president to please change the governor of Central Bank. Thank you.
Thank you very much for calling in, Mr. George. Hassan, well, it's all coming back to the government because, quite frankly, the government has the power to investigate. It can see. He's talked about the chief compliance officer. Quite frankly, it's not rocket science if we want to be serious about it. It's like the financial equivalent for me of the political will we're always asking of in other circles. If only we had the political will to do the right thing. Isn't it similar? It looks like everybody knows where the problem is, but for some reason it's not easy to deal with because interests are involved.
You know what? I'm not holding brief for the federal government of Nigeria under the leadership of General Muhammadu Buhari. But let truth be said, and let us go and rest. The way you Christians used to say it, say the truth and shame the devil. Let me tell you, this is the first time.
Yes.
Federal government are having keen interest in what is happening to me and you. Do you know why they raided them? The inflation is so unbearable. People are complaining. And even people that are advising the government in one way or the other, those people are business-minded. But this time around, this federal government headed by Buhari, let me remind you one thing Buhari said. He said, up to now, you have not convinced me on this devaluation you are talking about. Most of our economists, they are better in business cycle. Because in government, you don't bring that kind of theory to work with us. You don't throw away your money to the magic of market force. No, you don't do that. When you throw it, there will be a problem. there will be inflation, and there will be revolt, and the government will go. You understand?
But you know, economists, there's an ongoing argument or debate or discussion on that whole matter.
Let me tell you.
Whether we should allow market forces to prevail or whether we should do, moderation.
Do you know what?
Forgive the tautology.
General Muhammad Buhari was against devaluation. Chief Yemi Osinbajo's son was against devaluation. But these guys came under this corporate governance. We have to be very careful. We should look between the lines when people are using corporate governance against the common interest of me and you, of Nigeria.
Okay, one moment, please. Mr. James from Maryland, thank you very much for holding on all that while.
Good morning, Uncle Yari.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, I'm calling from Maryland. Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. My name is James. Uncle Yari. Morning. In terms of this currency we're talking of, because of this Burundi change, all over the world, it's only Nigeria you go to bank, they will tell you there's no dollar. The bank attendants will call the mala for him to send a dollar to you. A dollar conversion all over the world, we have a rate at which dollar is being converted or being sold. But when you go to the bank here, the mala will tell you 480, while the official rate is 300 and something naira. I can give you an instance. I've lived out there, I've been in Asia for almost 17 years. In China alone, we've been taking dollars over the past 10 years for 6.5, 6.6 renminbi for over 10 years. But here in Nigeria, you go, somebody will tell you dollar for 470, you go to another place, the mala will tell you for 480. So the government should be able to control our economy, not the Burundi change. How come that the whole bank will not have dollars to give to a customer, while the mala on the street is selling dollars?
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. James, for calling in. I think it's a
valid point.
A very valid point and a beautiful question, especially for the uninitiated.
Exactly.
Why do banks not have dollars, but your foreign exchange malam at Shita always has dollars?
Do you know that if the CBN makes a statement, a pronouncement today, that no street trading of dollars, just that statement alone automatically criminalizes street trading of foreign exchange? And if that happens, where are we going to patronize? The financial institutions and the BDCs.
So what's the
because
argument?
They are regulated.
Dr.
Yes.
What's the argument for not doing that? I'm just curious in an academic
it's
sense.
Because
now.
they have interest, in my opinion.
It's not even academic. It's
because
straightforward
they have
interest.
Because if they don't have interest, for me, if I'm just an ordinary individual who has the national interest at heart, I don't care who is going to be affected. This is going to benefit Nigeria. This is the policy that everybody should go by. You trade dollars on the street, you go to jail. Once you make that statement, I can bet you there will be sanity in the system.
Okay. Sadiq, good morning from Jigawa.
Okay, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
How is it?
Please go ahead.
I want to say kudos to our two gentlemen, Doctor and Elijah Hassan. They are making a vital point, and if listened, I think it will take us to the next steps in terms of our financial institution.
All right then. Thank you. Short and sweet, Sadiq. Hassan, you made the point earlier about if things are done right, then the Bureau de Change, the BDCs, can actually regulate this economy properly. But it's not the business of BDCs to be regulating any economy.
No. You see, economy is about independency. Economy is not a prerogative of one individual.
I know.
It's a collective responsibilities of all of us.
Yeah, but the BDCs have a stranglehold.
No, you know what? Do you know what is happening? Where CBN will come in here is this: let there be a stringent regulation, and let us come back and revisit this issue of BVN.
How about banning street trading of dollars?
Not even banning.
Street trading of dollars. How about wiping that out?
You know what? Let me tell you one thing. I'm against street hawking of dollars.
Yes.
I'm not holding brief for these people. I'm just making my own objective
I
analysis.
understand. I understand.
I'm a Nigerian.
It's in that spirit that I said, what's wrong with banning street hawking of dollars?
When the activities of people, when the activities are impacting negatively on the populace, it should call for concern.
Okay, one moment, please. I got to go to that almighty break. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere, please. Okay, home stretch now on our quest to try and find out why the Naira-dollar exchange rate remains incalcitrant. We're not quite there yet, but at least from the gentleman with us, I think one thing is coming through that, well, it's not that people don't know what to do, but the sincerity of purpose, the will to do that which is right might be part of the problem. The Emir of Kano, speaking about 3 months ago, had said that this whole thing, why are people not seeing that it's not working, it's not right? I can sit down here, paraphrasing him, sit down here, work the phones, become a multi-millionaire without leaving my chair here. That can't be right. And perhaps it's the only place, Nigeria is the only place that happens.
It's so unfortunate that in our forex markets, we have sudden billionaires. You want to turn your fortune around the next moment, just go into forex trading, and before you know it, you're a billionaire. It's so sad.
And it's not done secretly.
I mean, they do it openly.
It's open. It's
on
open.
The street, Mr. Yori, you'll be walking on the street and you will see people chasing you. Do you want to change
that's right.
Dollars? Do you want to change it is sad. It is so sad. So the government should make a simple statement. That's what I am just clamoring for. Make a statement and ban it.
Okay.
And whoever engages in a trade like that should be sanctioned.
Okay, Charles Egbeda, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Yori.
Please go ahead now.
Mr. Yori.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. This Charles from Egbeda.
Yes, we're waiting for you. Please go ahead.
I'm concerned is very, very easy and simple. Yes, I'm saying that the topic you are addressing this morning is very, very simple. Hello?
We can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay. Yes, it's very, very simple and easy. It is from the weakness is from the government. Our president is doing well in the area of security. They lack the what do you call it, the strength to take, the policy on the economy very, very strongly. I agree with him when he said that he had no belief on the regulation of the Naira. And the president asked some time ago, since 1985, in which they have been deregulating our currency, what did we get out of it? The president said it. I don't know why the governor of Central Bank will still remain on that seat.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. I got to interrupt you now. Really appreciate your call. Alhaji Hassan, you seem to be saying that, look, there's more than one way to understand the problem that befalls us, that we have before us, right?
Is
that essentially what you're saying? Because it seemed like it would be a straightforward, simple thing. Just ban street trading and hawking of the Naira. You say that's not it.
The issue is this. If you want to get to the root of it, people are mopping dollars. People are round tripping dollars. You understand? And it's not reflected in the import. You understand? So the best way to go about it, whoever is buying the chunks of dollars, provide your BVN. Let us get to know who is buying it. That BVN, before they brought the issue of BVN, because the elites, the money launderers in Nigeria, saw it as something that would break the camel's back. They now pressurize the CBN governor to jettison it. You understand? They should.
Which he cannot do.
No, he did it. He did it.
Jettison BVN.
He jettisoned it.
I don't understand.
Now the issue now is this.
BVN is still in force.
No.
No?
About the purchase of dollars.
Oh, okay.
You understand? let them bring back the BVN issue. Whoever is buying the dollar, let us get to know the face behind the masquerade.
That's news to me, Doctor.
Well, that's fine, because if I still want to align with what he has just said, but this position will only be right if we have a straight channel where purchases can simply be made. I can decide not to go to BDCs, I can decide not to go to a commercial bank and go to the street and buy. So if I scrap the street trading, then I know that the only source of purchasing or selling is regulated institutions. It is only when we have this regulated institution as the sole buyer and seller of these foreign exchanges, then we will know who is buying, we will know who is selling, for what purposes. Then at that point you can trail them. Because money laundering, yeah, we have money laundering prohibition acts, but how effective are law enforcement agents trailing these money launderers? Because we must get them. We must follow the money, but we can only follow those monies if the monies are being transacted in a regulated institutions. So if we have unregulated institutions, we have fund managers that are not registered with SEC, that are not registered with CBN, then there's going to be a problem. We're going to be the opening will be too porous. So to that extent, scrap all this, focus on the BDC that are registered, focus on the commercial banks that are registered. On that note, whoever is buying or selling, the law enforcement agents can go after the, will discover that you bought $20,000. For what purpose? You know, questions will begin to arise.
And the BVN thing that
they must bring it in.
Yeah,
I can't imagine it that you give waivers to institution buying BDCs, buying dollars without BVN. Where is that done?
Now, Alhaji, this is a problem. Quite frankly, it's unpatriotic.
Highly unpatriotic.
Apart from being criminal.
It's criminal.
But nobody's ending up in court.
Yes, very soon. Very soon, people are going to be in court.
The raid of the DSS on the BDCs, an extreme measure, perhaps.
It's not extreme. It's never extreme. He who pays the piper dictates the tunes. I should know then why I should give you my dollars. And then you go on your own and do whatever you like.
Okay, one moment. Our last caller this morning, Joy from Ojodu. Good morning.
Okay. Mr. Ayori.
Good morning, ma'am.
I've once been in funds transfer department of a bank before.
Okay.
I headed that department. And I know that the CBN has enough rules and regulations to sanction the banks to know when they are untripping this fund. Okay. So it is simply to...
Joy, could you rewind a sentence, please? Something happened.
I said it is simply CBN's irresponsibility. They are refusing to perform their duty for their best known reasons. That is why this problem is happening. If CBN can...
Okay, but the CBN is not up and doing, seems to be her bottom line on this whole matter. And they're not being up and doing is favoring humongously a certain niche, a certain little niche.
That's correct.
And that might be the motive right there for us to continue. Yet we're talking about a government of change, not doing things the way we were doing them before. It would appear to me that things are continuing very much. In fact, people are angry. You heard at least 2 people have said this morning, I don't know why the central bank governor is still in place. Yes. Maybe talking about their frustrations with this whole matter.
Do you know what, Mr. Yori?
Yes.
You see, the central bank governor is the product of bad government. And you can't expect him to do otherwise. Even what he's doing it because a responsible leadership is in place. He was forced to act, you understand? And let me tell you, these people went the other way around. Because I see no reason why I should be a sitting president. Then somebody, a CPN governor, will be there doing something else. President was against devaluation. Vice President was against devaluation. And they gave their reasons. You understand? But these people went ahead and did it through the back door, through this floating of Naira. No any responsible and responsive government will ever allow anybody to float its currency. Well, because it can trigger a lot of problem in the economy.
Indeed.
And to the government itself.
And that's where we are right now. I think we're going to have to leave it there, not having resolved very much at all, but at least we got some bit of insight into what the issues are. And it seems to be indicating that Joy, who called in last, seemed to put the lid on it, that I've been there, I've done that, and I can tell you that the CBN is fully aware of what is going on. And if they wanted to nip it, they could. For whatever reason, we're waiting. Thank you very much, Dr. Deji Awobotu, Chartered Accountant and Financial Analyst. And thank you very much, Alhaji Hassan Abdul Aziz Sani, commentator on public affairs. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'll see you tomorrow, God willing, with a fresh edition of the program. I'm Yori Folarin. Bye-bye for now. So.